All right, let's make some 15-minute macaroni and cheese. Start with a skillet. Take 8 ounces of macaroni and put a layer down. Then put some water over it that's about twice as deep as it is. Get yourself some whole milk, about a cup's worth, which is 8 ounces, which is the same amount of ounces as we have pasta. Get yourself 8 ounces of cheese. Then you're going to get some sodium citrate. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, while this water's boiling, let's talk about sodium citrate. So the basic idea is that sodium citrate is a salt, much like sodium chloride, which is table salt. Perfectly safe. When you add it to dairy, it makes an emulsion, and that's what the creaminess of American cheese is, but you can do it with any cheese you want, in this case, a sharp cheddar. All right, so to our 8 ounces of pasta, we're going to add our 8 ounces of milk, and then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of the sodium citrate. And when you order sodium citrate, you can get it on Amazon, lots of other places. That canister, given that this recipe uses 2 teaspoons, that canister is nearly a lifetime supply, so it'll only be a one-time purchase. Now let's mix that together, get that sodium citrate mixed in through the liquid as best we can. I did kill the heat after adding the milk, but since it's an electric stove, the heat carries over quite a bit. And then we are going to add our cheese. By doing this whole thing in the skillet, we get the starch from the pasta because we didn't drain off our water, so that sticks around. And because we did it in a really flat, wide surface, we were able to boil much faster. And so this entire thing can be done from a cold pan, at least on my stove, in under 15 minutes to this point where the cheese is added. Depending on how fast the stove goes, you can actually be all the way done in the bowl in 15 minutes. And you end up with macaroni and cheese, simple, basic ingredients, real food, no powders. You didn't have to use any butter to do this. You weren't sort of reconstituting cheese. This is the real deal. Takes a little bit for the cheese to melt, especially on this little bit lower heat, but you don't really want to like turn it on and scorch it and burn anything. So take your time. You're already getting this done in 15 minutes, so you've got a little bit of time to spare. And you'll see you end up with ooey gooey macaroni and cheese, just like you wanted. And I served mine with a little bit of ham and sriracha on top of it, which makes for a nice serving. But that's basically it. 8 ounces of pasta, 8 ounces of milk, 8 ounces of cheese, 2 teaspoons of sodium citrate, and get yourself a big skillet and go to town.